Hello and welcome to Spring Grove Nursery. I'm Becky Thomas.
And I'm Jamie Thomas. Thank you for joining us today for this nursery video as we demonstrate why it is important to know your grower. Today we will learn how we grow our SGN trees and highlight some of our new and old favorite species along the way.
A little bit first about our nursery. We grow shade, ornamental, and evergreen trees on 100 acres in north central Illinois. Our nursery specializes in wholesale growing for cities, park districts, landscape contractors, re-wholesalers, IGCs, and landscape architects. We grow our specimen trees here to a target size of 2 to 4 inch in caliber. Our backgrounds in both landscape architecture and park districts give us a unique perspective on our customer needs and the long-term success of our trees in the landscape.
When selecting trees for your planting project, it is especially important for you to know your grower. Growing trees is a multi-year process. There are many split steps along the way, and important pruning techniques have occurred during that process, and we will show you each of those steps today.
So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and join us in the nursery for a look at how we grow our SGN trees. So our first stop is in a 1-year block of oak trees. These oaks were planted this past spring. Right now we're shooting this video in October, so they've almost had a season here in the ground. All of our liners that we plant in the spring come from some partner nurseries that we work with out in Oregon. Out there, our orders are placed a year or two in advance, and the liners grow for about 5 years maybe on average out there, so they're already pretty well established by the time they show up here to our nursery. They harvest the trees out there in the fall and throughout the winter, and then they ship them here in late March or early April on refrigerated trucks, and then we get them planted in the ground.
Planting day is the most important day of the year. We are really, we stress the importance of planting the tree at the right depth. If we get it right the first day, that tree is going to be good for the rest of its life here. Throughout the video, we're going to show you what the right planting depth is and how we do that. Next, we're going to cut to a video of us planting last spring.
There are some times when the day is gone, in my darkest hours, waiting on the dawn, wondering if we're gonna make it out alright of this cold and lonely world out in the night. Then I see your blue eyes and that good friend of mine. The sun is shining brighter every day. The sun is shining brighter every day. I wish you love, I wish you babe. I wish you years of having fun, having happiness. If what you got is hard to find, and it gives a lot of hope to this heart of mine. Then I see your blue eyes and that good friend of mine. The sun is shining brighter every day. The sun is shining brighter every day.
hope you enjoyed that planting video from last spring. Another thing I wanted to point out here is some of our soil conservation methods. You'll see behind us these newly planted grass strips. We come in and do those in the fall in the first year of a crop, and then those grass strips are going to stay there through the course of these trees growing in our nursery. Trees are generally in our nursery anywhere from 3 to 8 years, depending on the species and the size it is when we bring it. So the grass strips are just a great way to keep our soil in place and not have it blow away or erode away with rain. You'll also notice kind of over here in the distance, you can see a block of soybeans. Because we're part of a larger family farm operation that grows corn and soybeans, my brother can come in here and plant soybeans in our blank spots in between to let the soil recover and add a little nitrogen back in. So it's a really great way that we can continue to take care of the soil here that my dad started doing so well.
Next, we're going to go to some maple liners and show you what we do with first year crop.
This is a first year block of maples here behind us. These are some autumn blaze maples. Jamie's going to tell you a little bit about what we do on maples the first year.
The first year we want to make sure, like I said, we want that graft about 1 to 2 inches above grade when we plant it. And when we came through, we made sure that happened. If you look right here, this is just a little bit above grade. The first year we'll bring it up, we'll structure it, we'll structure here, we'll bring it over, and we'll take a piece of tape and we'll put a leader on it. That's just one thing we do. These things have been hit twice with the pruner, and next year we'll do it again.
And most of our trees the first year get a similar treatment. We don't necessarily have to stake these. We just kind of do the initial, planting and structure work, and then they're good to go. Okay, we're in another block of first year trees. This is a block of elms. Right behind us, there are some New Horizon elms, and just over here, there's some Princeton American elms. Jamie's going to talk a little bit about what we do to elms the first year.
The first year elms like to grow a lot, so we need to take a lot of the top off of them. If you don't take the top off, they tend to bend, and you have to stake more often. Elms you stake, oaks you stake, maples you don't stake. But we don't want to stake very much, so we try to take the tops off of them. We'll come through with the first initial pruning and limb them up and bring some stuff off of them. What I'll do is show you what we've done and what we're going to do. This is a New Horizon, and they move over really easy. What I want to do is give this a good structure all the way to the top. And I'll bring it up to here. Next year I'll bring it up even one higher. And what we've done this year is brought these in, and we'll bring it in some more, and we'll bring it to the top here where I have a leader, and this is where I want my leader going up next year. So basically these are done, and we try to have them off a stake their first year, but sometimes elms and trees like that have to go back on a stake.
Other trees that are similar to this in the pruning rotation would be honey locust and hackberry. They just all need a vigorous pruning that first and second year, and generally some staking too. So we just showed you some New Horizons in their first year of growth. This is the second year crop of New Horizons. They grow really fast. They're one of our faster growing elms. Jamie's going to talk a little bit about years 2 and 3 in elm growing.
Generally, elms do grow fast, so we need to take a lot of the top off to keep them from leaning, like I said. But since we did that the first year, we can come through the second year, and we've got maybe 2 prunings that we'll come through and do, and we'll structure a little bit here and there. But right now, these trees are done. They've got a great structure and a great leader straight to the top.
Yeah, and by the care that we do in that first, second, and third year here, that really assures our customers that by the time the tree gets to them, it's ready to go, and the major pruning work has been done on it, and it's ready to grow in the landscape. This is a good spot also to point out our grass strips. So we've got the second year of grass strips now here have filled in really nicely, and they're going to stay like this until this whole block is harvested. Elm varieties that I'd like to point out that we grow, we've tried a lot of different ones over the last 20 years. Like we mentioned, these are New Horizons. That's a good one, probably the fastest one we grow. For American elms, we like Princeton and Jefferson. And then a couple out of the Chicagoland Grows program, the Accolade and Triumph. Those are both fantastic. They grow a little slower than these that you see here, but they turn into a fantastic tree. And then Emerald Sunshine is a newer variety that came out of J. Frank Schmidt Nursery that at maturity stays a little smaller and has a bit of a thicker leaf to it, and we like that one as well. We're in a second year block of maples here. So you saw a first year crop of autumn blaze maple. This is a second year crop, so you can tell they've filled in nicely.
Yeah, they are a fast grower and they kind of grow themselves. The second year we spent a couple times in here and we've structured them and we brought them up to the right height and we put that leader on them. We really stress the right structure and a leader here at Spring Grove Nursery.
Other maple varieties that we grow, there's quite a few, sugar maples and a lot of different red maples. One of the newer, it's not really a new variety, but it's kind of, newer to people knowing about it. It's a red maple variety called Red Point. We really like that one. We've kind of converted a lot of our red maple varieties over to that one. And then we also like Sun Valley. Sun Valley came out of the National Arboretum, and it's one that's actually truly seedless. But all of those have fantastic red fall color. And then State Street Maple, that's another great one out of the Chicagoland Grows program that came out of the Morton Arboretum. Fantastic yellow fall color and a really awesome textured bark on it in the landscape, and that's another favorite of ours. We're standing here in a third year block of oaks. These are some swamp white oaks. Earlier this season in June, we filmed a video that showed you what we do to our oaks in the summer, and we're going to cut to that right now.
Good morning. It's a beautiful morning at the nursery today. For the last couple of weeks we've been starting to prune second and third year liners, so when you go through that you have to take, some trees have stakes on them, so we've been taking stakes off of trees in the this is a third year crop of oaks, and we want to take them off and flex these as much as we can and let them be on their own for a while if they don't have to go on a stake. What we'll do is we'll go through here and I'll prune this up and it'll lighten it up, and we'll let it be on its own for a couple of weeks, and then if it needs to go back on a stake, we will. So when I do this, I look at the top and I want to start at the top because that's where I want to get most of the weight off of. So I want to find the leader up there, and what I did is I look up here and I find the leader because that's what I want to go up, and I nipped a little bit at the tops because I don't want it growing too high. So what I'm doing is coming back through and getting any branches that are kind of going up and adding any kind of weight at all on this. These, oaks don't grow slow, they caliper slow. And what happens is they don't get enough meat down here. So I want to take some weight off of this thing. And believe me, you can go crazy on these if you want. And next year you're going to have 2.5 inch beautiful swamp white oak. So I'm going to flex this way while I'm pruning this down here. I'm getting all these branches in here. I'm trying to make a nice structure on this so that I don't have branches going up or down. I want them going out. And in the meantime, as I'm doing that, I'm making it lighter on top, and I'm flexing it as we're going along. It may look like I'm taking a lot off, but I'm really not. I'm probably taking, 2 or 3 pounds, but 2 or 3 pounds on this thing's pretty good. And this is a quick one here. We've got a lot more here we can take on. And each time I go up in that tree, I'm going to find another spot, another thing I need to take off. And, I've got them limbed up to where I want them. And we're just taking a little bit off here at a time. And I like this. What'll happen is this thing will flow in the wind and get this flow in the wind. Now it's got less weight on it. So when it comes up, it's just when it strengthens up, it's going to strengthen right straight up. We'll come through here in about 2 weeks when it gets really hot out and just flex these again. And then hopefully in a month, we only have to stake about 6 or 7 out of 100. But you know, sometimes we got to stake a couple more than that. Anytime you're buying trees, get to know your grower. Find out what they're doing out in their field. And we invite you guys to come out anytime you want, and we'll show you around and maybe give you a couple pruning tips. Thanks.
So I hope you enjoyed seeing a little bit about oaks in the summer and all the work that we do to them. And so now here we are, that was in June, here we are in October.
So you can tell by how much we flex and how much we prune in the summertime and in the winter, what it takes to get a finished product like this. These trees will be probably going out not next year but the year after, so we have 1 more year of prune and flex on these, and they'll be good to go.
Okay, this is year 3 in a finished block of elms. We've got some Princeton American elms here and some New Horizon hybrid elms here. These again are the faster growing elms that we have. So in year 3, they're all going to be 3+ inches in caliper. And then a similar year, we'll have some accolades and triumphs just right behind at probably 2.5, 2 and 3 inch size range.
So you can see all the hard work that we've done, staking, pruning, staking. They've really paid off. These trees are done and ready to go.
Elms are a spring or a fall dig, so these can be harvested in either season. Okay, we're in a finished block of maples here. These are some Autumn Blaze in their 3rd year. You can tell we've had some pretty great growing seasons to get these to market this fast.
We've estimated that we touch all of our trees 70 to 80 times, and we're really proud of the work we do here at Spring Grove Nursery. When you can touch that tree and make it what you need it to be, it really makes you feel good.
Yeah, and maples are trees that we can harvest spring or fall. Some of the red maple varieties we like to only do in the spring, but most of the maples we have a pretty wide harvest window for those. Autumn Blaze definitely would be one of the quicker ones. And then probably the slowest would be some of the purple leaved maples like Crimson Sunset and sugar maples maybe, and then kind of State Street, and some of the Norways and some of the other red maples are all like kind of right there in the middle. But you know, this is a beautiful block of trees to be standing in, and a great look at maples.
We're standing in a block of 4- and 5-year-old oaks. These oaks are ready to go. We spent a lot of time in these, and we're really happy with the final product.
Some of the native oak varieties that we grow, red oak, white oak, swamp white oak, chinkapin oak, and bur oak. And then we have a lot of what we call nativar varieties, where they're a hybrid or a cultivar of a native oak that have been selected for a certain feature to just kind of improve that in the landscape for whatever the purpose is of that cultivar. So on both sides here, these are Regal Prince oak. That's a hybrid of a swamp white oak and an English oak. And then this one will mature at like 45 feet by 15 feet wide. And then a similar hybrid to this is the Kindred Spirit oak, which will mature 30 by 6. So both of those are great choices for a columnar need in the landscape. A couple other columnar ones that we grow, Street Spire and Crimson Spire. Both of those are hybrids of a white oak and a English oak. And the swamp white, they'll mature to the same size, 45 by 15. The Street Spire will drop its leaves in the winter, where the Crimson Spire, correct?
Correct.
Okay, where the Crimson Spire will keep its leaves. And then both of those have a really nice branching structure as well. Then a couple other larger scale oaks that are hybrids are heritage oak. That's a great one that just has a really nice big glossy green leaf on it, grows really dependably and rather quick in the landscape. And then American Dream Oak is a selection, a cultivar off of swamp white oak that has a little bit more anthracnose resistant and more of an exaggerated peeling bark, and that one is quickly becoming one of our favorites as well. Oaks we've mentioned before are ones that we really only dig out of the field in the spring. So spring is a great time to get your order in on those. We do dig extra and have them available in the fall as well. But that would be a good one to put on any of your spring ordering lists.
Now you've seen how we've grown trees through the whole process, and today we're going to dig one for you. Chun's going to get up to this Royal Raindrops and pull it out of the ground, and you get to watch. Crews dig about 150 to 175 on a good day. It's been a great fall for digging. So yeah, that's how we do it here.
Okay, here we are in our above ground shipping yard. We harvest trees in both the spring and the fall, and a lot of customers get trees field direct straight out of the field during those seasons. But in the spring, we also dig about an extra 2,000 trees and put them here in our above ground shipping yard and then ship all season out of here. We will also dig extra trees like oaks and birch and redbud and varieties that you can't harvest in the fall, so that we have them available in the fall for customers as well. We put our trees on drip irrigation, and then from there we will handle staging and shipping and loading them out.
Generally we'll get an order and then we'll go out and tag it in the holding yard, and then when that day comes we'll come pick them, we'll bring them out, we'll stage them, make sure they're all correct, then we'll tie them up and they're ready to ship.
Thank you for taking some time today to watch how we grow our SGN trees.
We love to talk about trees, so call, email, or visit us at the nursery anytime and get to know your grower.
Our website's also a great resource for you. We have information about what's going on in the nursery, videos, tree resources about the benefits of trees, green industry updates, And our availability tab is always updated weekly with the current stuff that we have available to ship or in the field. Another good resource is our monthly email newsletter. You can sign up for that and you'll get all that same great information. So thanks again for tuning in, and we hope to grow for you soon.